What's up, everyone? My name is College Sports Revive, and I welcome you back to the UAB Blazers Dynasty mode here on College Football 26, episode number 7. In today's installment, we're chasing a big milestone here in Lloyd Hicks' inaugural season as the UAB head coach. With 5 wins and 2 games to go, we need just one more to close down the first bowl appearance for the program since they joined the American back in 2023. UAB's gone 2-2 over the last 4, going 1-1 in the previous episode, opening up on the road against the 2-win Rice Owls. We stressed the point last episode on how important this one was. It had trap game written all over it, but the Blazers played one of the most complete games we've seen from them here in Coach Hicks' young tenure, as Jalen Kitna tossed 3 touchdowns of at least 49 yards, 3 different receivers. And then we dropped the next game to North Texas. The Mean Greens were arguably the best passing offense in the conference, and it was on display here in the first half. But then our defense clamped up late. They gave us a chance to complete a comeback, but Jalen Kitna really struggled in this game as the vertical element in our offense was pretty much non-existent. This sets the stage for the regular season finale. 2 games left today, 1 win needed to achieve bowl eligibility, but these are the games we've talked about all season. We knew we'd be playing the top teams in the conference down the stretch, and that's where we're going to open up today, hosting South Florida on our senior day, and later on we're going to be going on the road against Tulsa. We're the heavy underdog in both these games, but we've learned a lot about our team this season, and it's time to use what we know to try to grit out an upset win. Right now, the Bowl Watch has us playing out in the West against San Jose State in the Hawaii Bowl. That would be a pretty fun way to end off the season, but we can't get ahead of ourselves. Still plenty of work to do as we get the Bulls at home to open up episode 7. USF has the second highest scoring offense in the American, powered by their stud quarterback, who we will be meeting in just a moment. They have some solid wins, Boise State, North Texas. They kept it close with Miami, but they're coming off a shocking 31-0 drubbing at the hands of Navy, and Navy seems to blow out all the top teams in our conference for no reason, so the Bulls will be in search for a bounce-back game with the toughest quarterback in the conference to game plan against at the helm. Byron Brown is a touchdown machine, a rocket arm, elite athleticism, and you can't ask for anything more out of a signal caller at this level, accounting for 25 scores all-purpose entering today. It's a tall order slowing down this offense on our senior day, but we did hold our own against North Texas last episode, only allowing them to score 21. But with Byron Brown's running ability, he adds a whole different level to this offense that we just haven't seen this season. We'll have some key seniors playing in their last game, both of our top tailbacks, our defensive production, most of it, like Nigel Tate and Amori Morrison, and our quarterback Jalen Kitna, who's been so hot and cold down the stretch this season. 2 of the last 4 weeks he's thrown for at least 300 yards and multiple scores, but the other 2 he struggled to break 100. Consistency's been his biggest deficiency his senior year. As we'll open up with the tight end Ferguson in motion east to west, and senior Javon Jackson has a path open up for him on our first play. Jackson enters the day approaching 800 yards on his final season as Trace Campbell checks in here early on first down, but the speed option backfires as the pitch goes awry. It is recovered by UAB, and I really want to get Campbell involved here to take the pressure off Kitna, but not a good first look. And now 3rd down and a mile to go. We try to set up the screen, and that's closed down upon as well. So very unproductive there. An ugly first series for UAB. Not what you want when you come in as the underdog here at home. Now Byron Brown, the inside give to Cartavius Norton going off tackle, and he's got blocks, and he gets sprung out up across the 40, and it's 42 yards on his first carry. Bad going to worse here early on, and USF plays a pretty tough offense to stop, spreading their receivers out wide. They put their receivers pretty much all the way out to the boundary, so you really have to try to split the difference, and it's tough because that opens up light boxes for the running game, but plenty of speed and receiving talent on the outside, and they got plenty of room to use whenever they line up so wide. Now 2nd and 3, tight end stays in, but this is an inside route by Keyshawn Singleton, a 6'3 junior. And USF is marching here on the opening series. Under 7 minutes to play, Byron Brown, speed option, fakes the pitch, but nobody's fooled. And that was DeMarcus Smith who made first contact. One of the biggest strengths for UAB last episode was their red zone defense. We forced a lot of field goals and played really good damage control last time out. Let's see if we can do it again here. Both linebackers come. And it's Byron Brown going down. Brandon Franklin on the sack. One of the many seniors that line up for this defense. We've talked about the turnover we're going to face on that side of the ball a lot this season. Going into this offseason on 4th and goal, the chip shot is off the uprights. And just like last episode against North Texas, they missed 2 gimmies. And now we get some luck on our side, and it ends up being no harm, no foul. Now on 1st and 10, though, USF takes over again. Another empty drive for UAB, and wide open is the tight end. This is Wyatt Sullivan, 6'4" junior out of Atlanta. He's 5th on the team in receiving, but he's already got 2 catches. And now back on our side of the 50. It's inverted veer. No, it's a fake, but it drops off to the running back either way. Cartavius Norton, who breaks tackles. Sloppy play there by A.J. Brown and Tariq Watson, 2 of the most sure-handed defensive players we have. And now into the red zone go the Bulls yet again. Another play fake. Up top, and it is a touchdown. This is Chaz Nimrod, their leading receiver, who beat Perry Fisher on that play, who's definitely been playing really good football down the stretch. But USF coming out hungry after the empty possession. And you're seeing just firsthand how dangerous this offense can be. We need points, and we need to sustain a possession to keep this offense off the field. I'll try to add a little bit of a ripple. Kidna off the play fake, dumps it down to Ferguson. And it's one of the few actually positive plays we've had so far tonight. Only a gain of 4, but it's something. And here's Javon Jackson. Got to get him more involved. Inside give, but it's closed down upon the Bulls. Stand him up, and Kidna's going to be back and forced to throw yet again. 7 yards to go. Need to get to the 35. Kidna clean pocket all day to throw, but good coverage everywhere. And Milner broke open at the end, but our top receiver on the season, he lets it go through his hands, and the offensive woes continue. Last episode against North Texas, one of the worst offensive games we had all season. Couldn't even break 20 points, and it seems to be leaking over today against the Bulls. Byron Brown, RPO, it's Wyatt Sullivan with blocks, and it's another 1st down for the Bulls. And they're just getting anything they want in the pass game right now. They have so many things they can throw at us, whether it be the play action, the RPO, or running against these light boxes. 1st and 10, going deep shot, and it's caught. Josh Baca on the coverage. And we also got a hit on Byron Brown, and we got to do one or the other. We got to sack him there, or Baca's got to make a play on the ball. But neither get done, and USF is displaying their talent and the talent gap here in this game. Byron Brown, he keeps it, calling his own number, and the Bulls are up early 14-0. And this has blowout written all over it if we can't right the ship here quickly and in a hurry. I know we are the underdogs here, but we have to remember what is on the line today. We need one more win to become bowl eligible, and Javon Jackson, he might have to be the guy that we put everything on his shoulders. 4 carries, 28 yards here early on, being productive. Now he gets a breather. It's Jacobs checking in. He's also a senior. Both running backs playing their final home game, but he's dropped for a loss here. And on 3rd and 8, it's again Kidna coming down to him to extend the drive. Here's a nice pitch and catch to Corey Milner, who does atone for the drop and converts. So a pretty good looking drive here up across the 40 of USF. Kidna trying to keep the troops here moving. And it's Javon Jackson again. Look at this, falling forward for extra yardage. And it's another productive carry for Jackson. 8 minutes to go here in the 2nd half. Desperately needing points on the slant. It's Jalen Elder who turns up the hashes. And it'll be goal to go for the first time today for UAB. Looking for the freshman slot receiver to help us out here, not once but twice. Back to the well we go on the slant. And it's Elder for the touchdown. We have a lot of Blazers playing in their final home game. A lot of guys in the front 7, obviously the quarterback and the 2 running backs. But Jalen Elder, the true freshman, has been a revelation. There's his 4th touchdown catch of his freshman year. And our wide receiving core should be well intact next year, barring any transfers. And that was actually Trace Campbell who stepped in and for a change of pace and threw that touchdown pass. And Byron Brown back to the well off the play action. I mean, we showed a different look there with Campbell, but the Bulls, they're sticking with their guns. And again, going up tempo. Defense trying to keep pace with it, and there's Jalen Cheek with a nice play right there. That's one of our many safeties who sees the field. He plays some slot corner, did it there, and a nice job. 3rd and 6, out route. It's Wyatt Sullivan who now burns A.J. Brown. He's going up the boundary, and he's inside the 10. Goal to go again for the Bulls. Sullivan, like I said earlier, only 5th on the team in receiving, but he's been the guy killing us the most. And Byron Brown also finds Sullivan, who adjusts nicely within the zone coverage. Touchdown, Bulls. And that pretty much quiets any momentum we had on our nice long touchdown drive. Man, it's going to be a shootout. We're going to see if we can keep pace while also keeping Jackson involved. But the first play here from scrimmage on our next drive, loss of 4 on a Jackson run. We go with Corey Milner, trying to get him out in space, makes a man miss. Gain of 6 there for the #1 receiver. But this is what we've been trying to avoid. 3rd and pretty long for Kitna. Got time to throw, but it's intercepted. Going the other way, and USF will have a pick 6. And this place has come quiet. Jalen Stokes takes it to the house. And the USF Bulls, the route is on right now here in the first half. 28-7. Kitna continues to play his worst football of the season down the stretch. And here on the next drive, it's a new look to open things up. Trace Campbell here out in the pistol, as Coach Lloyd Hicks has seen enough from the senior here on senior day, and Campbell finds Elder outside the numbers for his 4th catch. A nice one there. Seeing if Campbell or if anybody can spark this offense, because it's been now a tough game and a tough half back-to-back, but it's Corey Milner who he drops in the bucket for, beating his man on the deep crossing route up to the 22-yard line. You know, Campbell, he's going to be in contention for that starting quarterback job next season. This might be a nice little job interview for him, trying to win that starting job. Campbell, this is a part of his game that Kitna just doesn't have. The ability to use his legs and vision to grab some cheap yards here and there. 1st and 10, approaching the 2-minute warning. It's Javon Jackson, inside zone. Gain of 6 here. If we can cut this down to 2 touchdowns and maybe get a stop here going into the half, we'd feel okay with how disastrous his first half has been. And a nice lead block there by number 72, Caleb Perez. And there's Jackson on the touchdowns. The senior gets into the scoring column here in his final college game. 28-14. Maybe the Blazers are not out yet. And maybe Campbell, who's only attempted 50 passes on the season entering tonight, looking pretty good on that drive. Maybe that can turn things around. But 2 minutes and 3 timeouts for this deadly offense. And Byron Brown will actually open up on the ground as he goes up and over, but loses it. But of course, with the way the game has gone tonight, the Bulls do hop on it as Byron Brown, he was undercut by Brandon Franklin, who was getting up after getting blocked. But it goes right into the hands of Chaz Nimrod, of course. A minute to go. Brown inside handoff. 1 stiff arm, another broken tackle by Eli Ennis and Eddie Tusum. 2 guys who have been pretty sure tacklers on the year, but again, just playing too sloppy tonight. And then when these guys go up tempo, we just have no answer for it. Again, another long gash through the air. And I've given this defense their flowers, but tonight they're really struggling. Now 7 seconds to go. USF might want to be careful here. 5 seconds. They're going to try to get one more play in. It's broken up by Ennis, but they're going to bring back out Nico Grammatica, the son of former NFL kicker Martin Grammatica, who makes up for the missed field goal earlier. And the Bulls do end up getting 3 more, putting the lead up to 17 as we enter the half. Well, here on senior night, so far, we're just not showing up. Jalen Kitna's pick 6 has really put everything into a blender. And we can't stop their freaking tight end, man. 8 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown for the 5th leading receiver on the team this season. We got to figure out some type of way to slow down this tempo and get stops. And I mean, this is the sloppiest tackling I've seen from UAB all season long. And like I just said, I've given this defense their flowers recently. Looked really good against Rice in North Texas an episode ago, but they just not showing up. But we'll see if Trace Campbell can maybe light a spark. He completed his first 5 passes as a starter on that first drive, so we'll see what he's got in the tank. As Byron Brown back to the air, the 10th catch for Wyatt Sullivan. And I've actually switched up matchups on him. I've put either Eli Ennis on him, the linebacker. Sometimes I'll put A.J. Brown, the safety, on him. Just no answer for the tight end. And now in triple coverage. What a catch there. Everything Byron Brown throwing up to receivers. They're making all kinds of plays tonight. Faking the blitz there, drop back into coverage, and it doesn't help us out very much. Pinballing off of tacklers. Again, it's another Bull who turns something out of nothing. Byron Brown eclipsing 3,000 passing yards in his career with some style at the end of it, as A.J. Brown, Denver Warren, and even Sarad Bryant, our season-leading tackler, couldn't bring him down, and this is about as elementary as it gets. Cartavius Norton, a path paved for him. It's another touchdown, his second, and the Bulls go up 38-14, and things looking bleak here in Birmingham. But I mean, hey, for the junior Trace Campbell, one drive, one touchdown. Let's see what he's got here as it's an inside handoff to Isaiah Jacobs. Finally a missed tackle for the Bulls. Only a gain of 3, but not so bad this time. 3rd and 4, this is what we want. Too many 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 10s tonight as Elder in traffic makes the catch, spins around his man, and picks up 24 yards on that catch and run, helping out Campbell as the Bulls brought the blitz, and that was really the only option he had on that play. Campbell looking good under pressure tonight, looking good, creating plays and extending plays, and beautiful timing there on the out route to Ferguson. Nice little dig play there, and now 3rd and short. They'll bring Ferguson in the block, and up top he has Caleb Brown, but he overshoots him by the slimmest of margins. It seems like neither Elder or Campbell can make this pass, as we have struggled to hit the deep ball all season long, which is not good when you talk about the skill on this team at receiver. But Campbell will call his own number and extend the drive via the quarterback sneak. Now inside the 10, Campbell trying to make it 2 touchdown drives led by his hand alone. But on 1st and goal, he is dropped for a loss of 10. Jalen Schuler on the stop. 3rd and goal now. Almost at the cusp of red zone range, and Campbell again hit, and we have to settle for 3 here. So Delane comes out and stays perfect on the year as our kicker knocks one through. And we have a chance to finally force this team to punt. We haven't seen them punt all night long, but Eli Ennis, finally someone on defense looking like they want to play tonight. We get the ball back, and Solomon Beebe, who is in line to be the top returning rusher next season with 2 of our running backs graduating. Beebe will turn the corner here and get to midfield. So here in the 4th quarter, I mean, hey, you know, a touchdown here can make it a 14-point game. We've seen crazier things happen. 6 minutes to go. Starting from the 48, this drive, and this one is intercepted, though. Again, it's Jalen Stokes as Campbell bites off a little bit more than he can chew. And Campbell, I mean, this is kind of the toughest part about bringing him in the situation we did. Campbell does not have the arm or the play style to drop back and throw 50 times in a game. That's more Kidna, and obviously he's not doing that tonight. So as soon as some optimism arrives for UAB, it quickly gets dashed. Our team's 2nd interception. And one last drive for the USF Bulls. Maybe we can come out of this game with a stop. And I mean, hey, there's a nice play against the speed option yet again. We've covered Byron Brown's running ability pretty decently tonight, but he hasn't tried too much at the same time. He's been so dynamic through the air. And on 3rd and goal, come on, guys. You're up 38-17. Why are you throwing right now? That is an offense that I'm going to remember. And if we ever play this team and the roles are reversed and whenever we're up 45-17 against the Bulls in the future, I'm going to remember this. And I'm definitely going to throw against this team. Maybe fake spike up 20. I don't know, man. I didn't take too kindly to that right there. But now checking in the game for one final drive is sophomore quarterback Ryder Burton, who has not attempted a pass before this completion of Jalen Elder right here. Ryder Burton's a sophomore, and I do like his accuracies. He doesn't have the strongest arm, and he's not the most athletic, but short and mid-range, he is very dialed in as he connects with Corey Milner in traffic there for a 1st down. Maybe Ryder Burton can be a sleeper to try to take that quarterback job next year as he goes 4-for-4 there on that last drive. But at the end of the day, 45-17, that is your final here on senior day as the Bulls defeat us here at home, handing us our 6th loss of the year. Now there's no more room for error, and this one really shows just how much work we have to do here in Birmingham. The Bulls accounted for nearly 500 yards on offense tonight, showing that we're regressing a bit here on defense here in the 2nd half of the year. I know we played really well against North Texas, but still, overall, it hasn't been the most cleanly played defensive games recently. Meanwhile, Jalen Kidna has really struggled down the stretch. 49 yards today on 14 attempts, the early pick 6 that sealed our fate early. Trace Campbell actually attempted more passes than Kidna, and we looked the best today with him under center. And with the season on the line, next game, this might spark quarterback change. Only 11 carries for Javon Jackson. We got down so quick, we couldn't use the run game like we normally do today. And on the defensive end, this was probably the worst showing for the secondary all year. I mean, blown coverages, nobody could seem to cover the tight end. The only part of our defense that seems to be actually improving with time is our pass rush. That accounted for 2 sacks today and at times sped up Brown. Not all the time, obviously, not enough. And this makes it 4 or 5 losses for UAB, and we've used all the leeway we had. It's win or go home next week against Tulsa, and it seems that this rough stretch has also impacted us negatively in recruiting, as we had a couple of visits in attendance to witness this beatdown. Hakeem Onku, a balanced guard from Arizona, he had a 0 out of 10 visit, which should tell you all you need to know about his perception of the visit. Oklahoma is about to take stronghold of this battle. 3 defensive players were also in attendance. Off-ball linebacker Jaron Fatini-Kun actually didn't have a terrible visit, and that surprisingly goes for all 3 defensive members. I think the complimentary visits really helped out as we battle Coastal for Fatini-Kun. Ahmad Pools become one of my favorite players at middle linebacker here on our recruiting board. His visit was solid, 5 out of 10 check marks, but we still trail Bowling Green. So like most battles at the moment, not liking how this one's shaping out. And 3-star pass rusher Dimitri Ruggins, who's a gem. It was only a 2 out of 10 visit for him, but we still hold pole position for his services, as UConn and South Alabama have offered, but it doesn't look like either team will schedule a visit in time for him. So finally a battle where I like our odds. And of course, it's become a daily topic of discussion over the lone 4-star recruit interested in Birmingham, George McCleskey. He visited last episode in the close loss to North Texas. Not a great visit for him either, but he did visit Iowa State this week. He didn't commit, but it's actually resulted in the Cyclones leaping us for McCleskey. Unfortunately, the losses down the stretch piling up a bit has continued to have a ripple effect on our targets. And with Coach Hicks being a motivator, not a recruiter, there's really not much else we can do at the moment. We have McCleskey maxed out with 50 points, and we have to let the chips fall where they lie for him. Well, guys, this is it. The concluding game of Season 1 where everything is on the line. 6 wins, a postseason berth for Season 1. And the last opponent in our way is Tulsa, who we will get away from home. Tulsa's another team who's exceeded expectations this year, kind of like us. And despite sporting one of the youngest rosters in the American, they were in the AAC title race all year, winning 4 out of the last 5 entering today. Redshirt freshman Andrew Alford is at the helm for this Golden Hurricane team, and he's going to become a very good quarterback over time. His throwing abilities all have really high skill caps, and he's a sneaky good athlete as well. And on defense, we'll be meeting the Americans' leading sacker, defensive captain Nakai Johnson, who's in search for double-digit sacks this evening. They're a talented team on paper, but will be shorthanded, helping our chances. The Golden Hurricane will be without their leading rusher, their starting right tackle, and multiple members of the secondary. We'll see if it's enough, because UAB is in a major slide. Doubts surround our quarterback situation, the secondary can't stop a cold right now, and everything rides on one final game against, yet again, another top AAC team. Are you guys ready for one final Season 1 tango to decide everything? UAB will attempt to punch their first postseason ticket since joining the conference in 2023. Let's do it, guys. And as the offense sets up shop at the 19-yard line, we don't see number 7 taking the field with the first team. It's Trace Campbell who's drawing the start, his first of his UAB career, and he's leading the club out for one final chance at a bowl game. Kidney struggles to become too much for Coach Hicks as he keeps the ball in Campbell's hands here on first down and grabs a gain of 9.5 to Corey Milner on the RPO. I like that play there. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception for the package player Campbell here on 2nd and inches, rolling out off the play fake, giving his receiver Caleb Brown a chance to make a play in coverage, and he does. 36 yards. What a first statement, and what a first time to be making your first start. Campbell not coming out scared. We're going to go back to Caleb Brown, who was way too quiet last game, and he springs this pass up across the 30. And a good-looking first drive here for Campbell. I mean, hey, he had a couple of nice scoring drives to get us back into the game momentarily last time out, but he throws his 2nd pick of this season as the linebacker faked like he was going to come on the rush and just drifted back into coverage, fooling Campbell, and I think there might have been a little bit of a miscommunication. That was an option route between Ferguson and Campbell, and I think Ferguson picked the wrong option that time. Did not help out the quarterback very much. Here is Andrew Alford as he leads out one of the youngest teams in all of the American, and Nigel Tate, who's been a little bit quiet as of recent. Our nose tackle steps up, gets a huge sack here on the first drive. And on 3rd and 10, Alfred will keep it. And nobody's home for UAB. Alfred, first down, inexcusable there as we brought a blitz, man coverage. So, quarterback keeper was the last thing we had on our mind. And again, Alfred will take to the air. Clean pocket until it's not. Nigel Tate gets in there. And I got to give the coverage a lot of credit on that possession or that sequence right there. Nowhere to go with the football for Alfred. And on 3rd and 14, Nigel Tate again speeds up the process, and in double coverage, it's knocked away. Had 2 guys in there, Sherrod Bryant and Tariq Watson. Gotta like that opening sequence for the defense. Looking way better than they did any time last game. And now a screen for Jackson. This will actually go in the book as a rush for him. And it's a gain of 9.5 on the ground, technically, for Jackson. Now on 2nd and 4, a delayed give to Jacobs out of the pistol, and Rod Orr almost threw a block there that would have resulted in a big game for Jacobs. 3rd and short, though, as here comes 5 for Tulsa. And Campbell will roll out and extend the play, a drop off to Jackson. Gain of 18. There's just some things that Campbell can do with his athleticism that Kitna just did not provide for this offense, and that play was a perfect example. Jackson, quick feet will get us up to the 1-yard line. This offense seems like they just have a little bit more pep in their step since the quarterback change here in the early goings of this game. 2nd and goal, and it's going to be a draw for Trace Campbell. What a call there for Lloyd Hicks, sliding into the end zone like he was sliding in a home plate right there. Touchdown, Trace Campbell, his 3rd rushing touchdown of his junior year. And now it's 2 very promising drives that have been put on the board thanks to Trace Campbell. Unfortunately, one was ended by an interception, but this offense is moving the ball better than we've seen all episode. Now here at the top of the 2nd quarter, let's see if this defense can maybe have some of that momentum carry over on the this side of the ball. They definitely need it after giving up nearly 500 yards to the Bulls last game. And now Alfred across his body on the rollout. He finds the tight end, number 23. That's Landon Lucas for a first down. Now Tulsa putting together a pretty promising drive of their own. Alfred, and it's well defended, you would think, but breaking a tackle is the receiver. We've had the perfect call for the screen, but man up, but again, just cannot finish these plays. It's been a common occurrence this episode. But against the blitz, this time we close things down. It's Josh Baca coming up to make the play. And on 3rd and 5, it'll be Alfred all alone back there. 5 receivers in the pattern. UAB fakes the blitz. Alfred steps up and is wide open. He's got a man. Number 1, Braylon Presley, their top receiver. That's his 74th catch on the year, leading the team in that department along with receiving yards. Some misdirection here, some eye candy now dropped off into the flat, but a nice tackle there by Eli Ennis. That's Micah Tees going out of bounds after a minimal gain. 4 down linemen here on 3rd and goal from the 3. Alfred with plenty of time, but it's broken up. It's Tyreek Watson coming in with a huge play, laying the boom here at the back of the end zone. Presley had it for a moment, but Watson made him feel it. And I think he forced him out of bounds. Regardless, I think even if he held onto the ball, it would have been an incompletion. 3 for Tulsa that time, and we got to get the run game more involved. Just not enough carries for our backs in that blowout loss to USF. 3rd and 2. It's a keeper for Campbell, and he is chopped down. J.D. Drew coming off the edge. Honestly, the wrong read there by Campbell. And Tulsa will take over with under 4 minutes to play here. Offenses haven't yet really found their groove, but they might if we keep missing tackles. Micah Tees there, the beneficiary of sloppy defensive play. Gain of 7. Now a give inside. It's their backup running back who finds plenty of green. Good blocking, good vision. Check all the boxes there. A.J. Allen for the first down and more. Tulsa now threatening. They got their eyes on the end zone on their first lead. Under 2 to play. 2nd and 14, but going down is Nigel Tate, who's got the trifecta here in the first half. 3 sacks for Tate. And that one actually eclipses Amori Morrison. He is now the team's leader in that category. 3rd and 23. Alfred taking a shot to no man's land. Way overthrown for his receiver. And again, the Blazers defensive unit holds here and gives Campbell and company one last chance at some points here. But the Hurricane D'ing up big on this play. A coverage sack that time coming off the edge. It was not Mekhi Miller, the leading sacker in the conference. The pressure came off the edge, but this time Mekhi Miller does create pressure, beating Rod Orr at the point of attack, but still finding Ferguson, who makes some moves close to the marker. Gain of 19, but we needed 21. And playing it safe here with the defense playing so well, we elect to punt it back. Tough decision, but I think it's the right call. 53 seconds left to go. Golden Hurricane with one timeout near midfield. Alfred with plenty of opportunity here to cut into this lead. Only one field goal allowed for this defense so far. Very impressive on their side of things today. Now only bringing 4. Alfred time to throw. He will tuck and run, and again, nobody's home. Jalen Cheek chases him down from behind, but it's a long run to put them firmly in a field goal range. 10 seconds to go. Still one timeout to use. They might want to get closer here, and they do. From the 23, it's Alfred sliding to his left, nearly sacked by Nigel Tate. He'll go down with 1 second left, and the Golden Hurricane avoid disaster. And this field goal from the left hash, it's been an adventure with these kickers these last few games on opposing teams, but this time it's right down Main Street in Tulsa. Comes back within a point. But overall, you gotta like what you're seeing from UAB. This is a nice change of pace, especially on the defensive end. They've given up their fair share of yards, but coming up big when it matters most. Nigel Tate has 3 sacks. Alfred hasn't looked great when we've gotten pressure home. And on offense, I mean, we're 1 interception away from 2 scoring drives led by Trace Campbell so far today. And so far, you got to like what you're seeing on both sides of the ball. But 7 points is not enough. Campbell needs to help out this defense a little bit and put his best foot forward. But we will begin the second half on defense, however. So we'll see if we continue to make things tough for Alfred today. The 6-foot freshman Alfred leading his troops out on the field with a chance to take the lead here on this possession. A.J. Allen dropped behind the line. There's a nice play by Amari Morrison and A.J. Brown, who hopefully will come back for a senior year. Hopefully he's not a victim to the transfer portal because he's been super productive this year. 2nd and 11. There's a nice pitch and catch on the deep end. Harry Fisher giving up that catch. And now 3rd and just 1 yard to go, about 1.5 here for the Tulsa offense, and it's a nice play there by Denver Warren, but just couldn't tackle Sevion Morrison in time. 1st down, Golden Hurricane. 7 to go, 4 wide receivers in the pattern, and it's the tight end. Can't have a replay of last game, please. Wyatt Sullivan killed us with 11 catches in the loss to USF. Cannot have that happen again. And a misdirection here. It is blown up. Another play in the run game. DeMarcus Smith, who's been having a pretty nice episode. 12 yards to go here. And it's a blitz as Eli Ennis, he's the blitzing man this time. And again, we force an errant pass by Alfred. Just again, speeding up the decision making. And so far, it's been a very well-played game by the defense, an awesome bounce-back game. But now we got to score. And it's going to be hard putting it all on the shoulders of Campbell because Javon Jackson has not had a lot of room to run today. Only 27 yards here halfway through this 3rd quarter. Try to go back to Jackson. He puts it on the ground. And it's scooped up by Tulsa. They have the football deep on our side of the 50. And again, turnovers striking at bad times. Now, we had 2 big ones, including the pick 6 last game against USF. That just completely derailed that game. And now, with this defense playing so well, we put them in a terrible position. However, there's a nice hit on the quarterback there. It's Nigel Tate who's been playing his tail off today. And Alfred will go empty here on 3rd and a mile. And a little bit of movement there by the UAB defense. I don't think they were ready to set up, and it's a blown coverage into the end zone. Goes Micah Tees. And an inexcusable touchdown there by the UAB defense. I will be completely honest with you guys. This one was on me. We came out in the man, but I quickly tried to change it into a zone. I didn't like our matchups as they went 5 wide. But that meant that Josh Baca had to come all the way over from his matchup on one side of the field and play deep zone on the completely other side of the field. So a coaching blunder on me and Lloyd Hicks. And UAB, as you can see there, Ezra Ojanor looking a little bit dejected. This defense has played so well today, and the offense setting him up to fail there, along with the coaching. And now Campbell hit as he throws, tries to give his man Jalen Elder a chance at a jump ball, but it's closed down upon TJ Turner in the area that time for Tulsa. Now on 3rd and 1, we took our shot. Now we just want to get the 1st down and more. It's Jacobs. tackled on top of Tulsa's midfield logo. He's had a little bit more success today than Javon Jackson. And we're going to keep it in the hands of number 3, and he drives his way forward for a gain of 3. And again, third manageable. What's the call here for Campbell? Got the fullback here on the offset. He's in the game. The first carry of the season for fullback Raymond Russell. 1 carry for 1 yard on his sophomore year, but it works to perfection. First down for UAB. Not flashy, but got the job done. Campbell, though, becoming more and more of a victim of this pass rush. That's Tim Hardam in that time getting in there. We've been throwing double teams at Mekhi Miller, which has opened up the opportunity for other guys to come in and make stops. And on 3rd and 10, we ran the ball thinking 4-down territory, but Jackson, they were ready for him somehow. And now on 4th and 9 from the 41, kind of in no man's land. We're going to stick with 4-down territory mindset here, and Campbell goes down. And this nightmare of a third quarter continues for the Blazers. And again, Nakai Johnson, finally he gets in there. That time he went one-on-one with Rod Orr, beat him immediately, and he's gotten sack number 10 on his season. 28 seconds to go. Things going from bad to worse here, but beautiful coverage there by Eli Ennis. Didn't even turn his head, but still got the deflection. Great job not getting a PI call. 3rd and 7. And we play coverage this time, but up over the linebackers. And Micah Tease almost broke that one. That one, we went Tampa 2, and the linebackers just never got deep enough. You got to get deeper if you're playing Tampa 2 as a linebacker. Now against the blitz, this is going to be the easiest touchdown all season long for the top receiver on the season, Braylon Presley. And as this nightmare third quarter comes to an end, Tulsa outscores us 17-0 and now has put up 23 unanswered to take control of this game. And UAB's season is in the balance in a big way. Similar situation for Campbell as the USF game. Here in the 4th quarter, it's a tall order to ask of him, but can he maybe spark something here in the 4th quarter and make this game interesting down the stretch? 142 yards on 11 completions for Campbell today. 1st and 10. Decent drop back here, clean pocket. It's Jalen Elder, and it seems like he's kind of growing a little bit of a rapport with Jalen Elder. He seems to be his favorite receiver so far as a starter. 2nd and 2, play fake. Trying to incorporate that here as Campbell takes the deep shot, and he's got Milner taking the top off the defense. Finally, we connect on a deep play there. It's 52 yards to Corey Milner as finally, man, it felt like all season long to finally rip it loose and not overthrow a receiver on a deep play. 1st and goal from the 2. We keep it in the air, and Corey Milner cleans up his own mess. Touchdown UAB, and they got the quick touchdown that they were looking for. Like I said earlier, it's a lot to ask out of Campbell to expect him to pull us out of this rut. But so far, so good. And Campbell's really turning some heads with his performance. And now the offense stays on the field, trying to make it a 1-score game, an 8-point game. Campbell, with Jackson to his right, fakes it to the running back, and in the flat, nobody on. Antonio Ferguson. Love that play call. Ferguson makes it an 8-point game, and if the defense keeps playing like they have, we might have a chance to make things interesting here. Alford, inside give, and this is going to be a 1st down as Nigel Tate now has to exit, arguably the best player on the field today. That's a big loss here as the defense really needs to come through. 1st and 10. Yes, there we go. I really thought he was going to slip out of that tackle as Nigel Tate has a minor injury, so he's going to be back in actually here on this possession, lining up against number 62, the center. 2nd and 12, play fake. It's Alford scanning, and he will be taken down. Amori Morrison, good job getting off the block. Not a sack, but it's pretty much the same thing there as they only grab a gain of 2 there. 3rd and 10, only sending 4 this time. And up in the air, Micah Tease goes vertical to bring down a big catch. And that all but cements Tulsa getting points on this drive. We can't force a turnover here, which has not been our MO this season. But rolling out, it's a huge play. He rolls right into Denver Warren. That's now 5 sacks as a team today, the most of season 1. 3rd and 13. Can we please get off the field? Again, only sending 4. And again, wide open is a receiver. It's Presley. Why does this keep happening? It's yet another defensive breakdown in a crucial spot for the Blazers. But on 3rd and 8, we actually do pick up another sack. That's Ezra Ojanor, the sophomore edge rusher. And Tulsa will settle for 3, but it's Back to a 2-possession game, 11-point deficit with 2:23 to go. But we're going to continue to fight here, see if we can make things interesting. Campbell has Caleb Brown on the comeback, breaks a tackle as the secondary member got too aggressive. They're trying to go for the pick. And again, it's another long slash through the air. Campbell and our troops continuing the fight here. 2:12 to go. And on second down underneath, that's a bad miss. Every miss is so crucial right now because in a perfect world, you'd really like to score before the warning. But unless it's a field goal, I don't think that's going to happen. 2:06 left to go. Trying to go to the corner route to Ferguson, but it's well covered by number 16. And we actually elect to kick the field goal here to make it a 1-score game. We still have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. So 3 stoppages of the clock left. As Jonah DeLang, man, we can trust him with any field goal thrown his way. So it's an 8-point game. We got a chance of getting the ball back with a chance to tie the game despite everything that's happened. 1st and 10, 2 tight ends set for Tulsa, and it's a keeper for Alford. We have not been prepared for this at all today. And he does go back down inbounds, but it's superfluous regardless because of the 2-minute warning. But we did get 2 TFLs, bring up a 3rd and 15. No more timeouts for UAB. Used our last stoppage there with 1:46 to go. And Tulsa plays it safe. And it's Amori Morrison closing it down that time. 4th and 18. They elect the punt, obviously. And despite the 17 unanswered points, despite the nightmare 3rd quarter, Campbell's got one final chance to send us to the postseason as Jalen Elder, great start here, up across the 40. 1st down and more for UAB. And they're 60 yards away and a 2-point conversion away from potentially saving their season and sending this to overtime. Campbell with the rush coming. He's hit as he throws, and he again finds Elder. He's been the hot receiver today for Campbell, making his first start. 30 seconds to go. Campbell, game on the line, and it is Javon Jackson who goes down inbounds. They scramble to the line, and Campbell elects to spike it here. Come on, we're ticking down. 19 seconds. Got to get the snap off. 19 seconds to go. Got 54 yards to go. Campbell underneath, sitting down near the sticks. It's Milner turning up. Clock will stop for a 1st down. And we hurry to the line, trying to get another spike off. Here we go, 12 seconds left. Are we going to spike or are we going to try to take a chance? 10 seconds, no. Campbell's going to drop back. Campbell is going to fire. Caleb Brown, 1-on-1, and he had it. Caleb Brown had it, but it went through his hands. That would have tied the game right there. Great adjustment. He high-pointed it and everything. But it bounced off before the defender made the hit. And that took so much time off. 4 seconds to go. We got one final chance. One final heave to keep season 1 alive for bowl eligibility. And it falls incomplete. And that's all she wrote today. Oh, man. We fall short of our ultimate goal. And this loss is the nail in the coffin. One drive away from a postseason berth. One catch from a postseason berth. But this will put a bow on season 1 once and for all. 26-18 loss here in Tulsa to end it. And we knew the second half of season 1 was going to be a tough test. But 6 wins, man. It looked like a formality at some point. But the collapse continued until the very end. And going into season 2, we're going to have a lot more questions than answers. Trace Campbell had his first start, and for a guy who's known more for his legs than his arm, I thought he did fine. Nearly 300 yards, 3 touchdowns all purpose. Not bad for his first start. Especially since we didn't have the rushing game at all to help him out. We just were not balanced today. And Campbell spread the ball around pretty well too, with Jalen Elder being his most popular target today. We also recorded a season-high 6 sacks, as this pass rush unit's going to look a lot different next year. A lot of graduates in the front 7. But season 1 comes to an end in a disappointing fashion. We dropped 5 out of our last 6 games. One basically Hail Mary away from potentially becoming a bowl eligible team. But as much of it as it sucks, this was kind of more or less what I expected. You know, we got lucky with a favorable schedule in the first half of the season that set us up well. But this was a tough second half that was handed to us. And with UAB struggling with the better teams around in the conference and all the turnover expected at quarterback, running back into the front 7, it shows just how much farther we have to go before achieving the things that we envision in this series. And the losses, they may have extended even further than just graduation, as our school grades have taken a hit along the way with these losses, with impact players such as Caleb Brown, Tariq Watson, and Caleb Perez on the offensive line, considering a change in scenery via the portal, as you can see here. I do have my transfer sliders a little subdued, so the portal is still going to be active, but not as crazy as the default game settings has them. But the movement may still be coming, meaning we're going to have to get active and bring in town as well. One last look at our recruiting board before the offseason episode doesn't instill too much confidence either. Obviously, we have the fights we're winning, but only 3 commitments and plenty of holes. Lloyd Hicks will have his work cut out for him next episode. And we continue to slip in the races for some of the top targets, with George McCleskey coming to mind. It's going to be a wild offseason video, and quite frankly, honestly, I have no idea what to expect in that one. Who's going to be our quarterback? Is the answer in-house already? Are we going to be able to run the ball without Javon Jackson and Isaiah Jacobs? And how will this below-average defense look with so many graduates and possible transfers? So many questions as we enter the first offseason. And here's how the stats look for UAB at the end of Season 1. Kitna finishes with just over 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns to 7 INTs, ending his career watching from the sidelines on his last game of the year. He just never became as consistent as we needed him to be. Trace Campbell showed flashes for potentially becoming our starter next season, but we're going to need to see him take a jump in the offseason with his arm. And how about third-string Ryder Burton? With our deep receiving core, he might be the best fit. We saw him in garbage time today. He had really good accuracy and pretty solid skill caps to boot. Maybe we see what leap he takes into his junior year. Javon Jackson was our leading rusher with 837 yards on the ground, 8 touchdowns. Both he and Jacobs were around 5.5 yards per carry. Both will not be on the team in year 2. With Solomon Beebe as the top returning rusher, he showed some explosive ability with 21 carries, and he looked good on kickoffs. Corey Milner was the leading receiver, but these totals are a little disappointing, knowing just how good this receiving core can be. Finding the right quarterback to pair with this group is paramount going forward. And with Caleb Brown and Corey Milner as possible transfer victims, we may see the true freshman slot man Jalen Elder step into the premier #1 role next season. Really liked what he showed this year. At the top 5 offensive linemen in snaps played, 2 of them will graduate, with the 3 other guys becoming seniors next year. Left tackle John Darius Morgan will be our biggest loss to graduation. And finally, this defense, we're going to have a lot to talk about with them. We'll be losing 3 out of our top 6 tacklers, including Sherrod Bryant and Eli Ennis, and 4 out of our top 6 sack leaders, including nose tackle Nigel Tate, who had the best game of his career today, and Amori Morrison. This presents plenty of challenges in order to fill all these gaps, and we're going to have to see guys like safety A.J. Brown and underclassman pass rusher Ezra Ojanor really take a step in order to keep that side of the ball together. Here's how the playoff bracket looks in year 1. Tulane does end up being the highest group of 5 team, facing UConn in the first round, who ended up only losing 1 game to a ranked Duke team. We almost beat them this season. And your favorites are undefeated Penn State, Clemson, and Georgia. No Ohio State or Alabama in this year's field. The Blazers finished 4th lowest in points scored and 6th most in points allowed. Definitely let down more by the offense for all the reasons we discussed. 6th lowest in total yards, 5th lowest in yards per game. These offensive stats are what I'm going to be stressing the most next season. I want to make some tweaks to the playbook and become more of like a true air raid attack, and hopefully our skilled receivers can be put in better positions to make big plays. And I'll be writing down these stats to keep track of our progress year to year. On defense, we ended up as the 6th worst in yards allowed, 3rd most in passing yards allowed, but 3rd least in rushing yards surrendered. I'd say that's a strength to build off of. But losing guys like Nigel Tate and Sherrod Bryant, I would expect that stats to take a step back. And thus, that brings us to the end of Season 1. Some things to be proud of. UMB won their most games as a member of the American this season with Lloyd Hicks as their coach. We won the games we were supposed to, but definitely a lot to fix and a lot to change going forward. And overall, a lot of change to anticipate. I'll have the first offseason posted soon. Stay tuned for that. More and more here on College Sports Revive, everyone. I hope you enjoyed Season 1, and I look forward to how we'll be molding this team in the future. Take care, everybody. I hope you're excited for the offseason video. I'm excited to bring it to you guys. First time doing one on the channel, an offseason on a college football game. So definitely a lot to learn, but a lot to be excited for. Hope to have you there, and I hope you have a great day, everyone. I'll see you.